Hello everyone, welcome to your August part 1 video scope. I'm Jean. I'm a teacher, a soul coach. I work a lot with intuitive psychics on their path and on their journey, specifically to help remove limitations. We all have a lot of limitations through a lot of our programming, our inheritance, and this is the area of really working with our consciousness. Everything is frequency. We're awash in frequency waves, and we've got a lot of frequency raining into and on this planet through the solar plasma, which is a technology system for consciousness. But why I talk about all this is there's quite a focus on Virgo now. Mercury entered Virgo at the end of July, and he'll be retrograding in his home sign on the 23rd through mid-September. He'll be transiting Virgo through October 4th, essentially. Mars is transiting Virgo through the end of August, and the Sun will enter Virgo the third week of August. So with Mercury's retrograde here as well, there is quite a focus on health and, our physical body, our physical housing, how we take care of our body in physical housing, right? So, I just read something or heard something the other day, and this was interesting. I'll read it to you briefly. Have you heard this rumor about McDonald's wanting to push ads into your dreams during REM sleep cycle? Now, during REM sleep, we're very active. The heart is beating, the eyes are fluttering. We're doing a lot of work during REM while we're sleeping, and it is very much a part of our regeneration and renewal process. But according to things I've heard, McDonald's is developing a device that will emit sounds and smells that are associated with its products, such as the sizzling of burgers, the crunching of fries, and the aroma of coffee. And ostensibly, this device would be activated by a smartphone app that will detect when you are in REM sleep. So this, I guess, would require that you have your phone on and in your bedroom. Never a good idea. But this is a whole new way of working and marketing to the human population. We are on this big threshold of raising our consciousness, and so much of our environment is kind of anti-consciousness. An example is in the 90s when Roundup began to be used ubiquitously in this country. Doctors, the medical professionals saw a perplexing rise in inflammation, autoimmune disease, thyroid issues. Well, come to find out, the toxin used in Roundup actually affects the mitochondria in the stomach. Now, last decade, it was the decade of the mind and neural patterning. This decade, in my view, is the decade of the gut, our other mind. We get a lot of information that comes through that sacral chakra and that lower tummy. It's called the Hara mind in the East, where life begins. So when you introduce a toxin that stops the mitochondria in your gut from communicating with the mitochondria in your brain, mitochondria will tell cells, hey, we need some more water over here. It is the organization system for our, gut health. And so what I'm seeing, every other person I'm speaking to now has IBS or a gut issue. And it's no wonder, because of all of the toxins in our environment. They're coming to find out, of course, that it affects emotional well-being, mental health. When you're shutting down a system that is focused primarily on health and reproduction and the movement of nutrients and energy around the body, of course, a side effect of that is going to be an increase in inflammatory disease and mental health, physical health. I was traveling a few weeks ago. I was flying, and I'm not on my phone in airports. I'm watching people. and I get a taste of what's going on collectively when I'm out and about. And what I saw was not good. I saw a lot of inflammation in people. A lot. I watched body language, shoulders down, defeated kind of energy. And the latest stats I read is that 50% of Americans are unhealthy. So I bring this not to be a downer, but to bring information. Part of this is the toxins that have been allowed through our agencies to be delivered through our food systems. So what you want to do, if interested, is to really focus on, things and supplements that can help get that mitochondria working again. For example, in a lot of the meat in this country, it's full of antibiotics. What do antibiotics do? It upsets the balance in the stomach. So we become aware of these things working against us, and we become proactive, sovereign beings that tackle that in a conscious way, knowing that this body is the house for our spirituality and our consciousness and our emotional wheelhouse. And so this Virgo energy is bringing quite a focus to our health, also, to the day-to-day processes of our lives. Now, when Mercury is slowing down, certainly by the 10th of the month, it may be tricky now to implement new plans. When Mercury retrogrades the third week of this month, all of the planets are retrograde except Mars and Jupiter. But this is a useful time, as always, for contemplation, processing experiences from an earlier time, from earlier this year. It can be enlightening. It can be revelatory if you can open and hold space for that. And how can you improve your day-to-day existence, sixth house, what you eat, your habits, your schedule? Does that all serve you in a healthy, self-loving, functional way, right? So very much a Virgonian time. Now, as we move into the full moon, we are in the month of blue moon, which means we're going to have 2 full moons in the same calendar month. We'll have another full moon on the 30th of August, and that will be in Pisces. But right off the bat, on the 1st of August, is a very upbeat, friendly full moon that occurs at 9 degrees of Aquarius. So this is quite social. It squares Jupiter in Taurus. Amplifying optimism and buoyancy and maybe taking chances on things. And additionally, Mars is trining Jupiter at this full moon from 14 degrees of Virgo to Taurus. So a very nice full moon that we'll be experiencing right off the bat. Now, concurrently, though, on the 2nd of August, Mercury is opposing Saturn from 6 degrees Virgo to Pisces. So you really want to mind the details, and it can be a great time for detail work and getting to the bottom of things and straightening things out. Mercury opposition Saturn. And then on the 3rd, that is when Pluto retrograde moves into a perfect square with the nodes. So it's bringing up all these Plutonian Capricorn themes again, relating and awareness. And I have an example, a client of mine last week, she was out and the orb was already in place by, the 3rd week of July. She was out with some friends and she was realizing Pluto is bringing up awareness about fitting in social structures tied to relationships, Libra, Aries. And she was realizing that a contact or two was not really any longer a frequency match for her. And we can look at it that way. Not all relationships last forever because we're changing. And a lot of people are changing really quickly and growing really quickly. And with this Pluto square, we can see these themes coming up and out from our history, from our societal conditioning, governmental conditioning, to tune in to if our relating style, our approach, our connections are matching our needs and our own growth and our own evolution. She came home from that gathering, and what happened was Just a few hours later, her guest bathroom toilet started overflowing, which is very symbolic. And then it started pouring into the ceiling on her first floor. So the emotional energy of the guest, the friend, and how that was affecting her mind, ceiling. Now, that may sound far-fetched, but I see this kind of energy showing up. If we were aware how exquisitely everything in our hologram was there to serve us, that every symbol that is in your reality is acting as a mirror for you on our behalf, we would be astounded. I'm not astounded because I see it all the time, and it's kind of fun when you can read the energy and the synchronicity going on in your life. So just shortly after this gathering, she had this physical manifestation took place that drove home, the need for perhaps the toilet was replaced to a more functional in the guest bathroom, etc. So just an interesting example of this. Now, on the 9th, we have the second Venus squaring Uranus. The first was in June. Venus is retrograde, and she's at 23 degrees of Leo, squaring Uranus at 23 degrees of Taurus. Again, she won't finish this sequence until September 29th is the final square. Forgive my phone, I forgot to turn it off. Is the final square between the two. So this can be bringing information about goals that you have, working with your resources, Taurus, happiness themes, friendship themes. Venus retrograde, we're revisiting a lot of this, our inner child, our heart, our friends, our pleasures. And the square to Uranus is a pattern that's accompanying this, which can see breakthroughs, awareness, and adjustments that may not fully play out until we get to that last week of September. And Mercury is trining Jupiter on the 9th from 14 degrees Virgo to Taurus. So this is exciting and fun energy as well. We've got a lot of upbeat, buoyant energy to work with here, even while those of you are holding this space for integration work, for shadow work. There's some, beautifully sequenced patterns here, in my view, working for your benefit. I also want to share that on the 13th of August, I'm going to be holding a Venus webinar. We're going to be looking at the karmic pattern of relating, and then how that is informed through the Venus progression, through Venus transits, etc. It takes us right into this nodal axis. So if that's of interest, that link will be below as well. So enjoy your month. As always, it's great speaking with you. Much love and be well.